This episode is brought to you by Share a Sale. Share a Sale is a great way for you to start generating some profit for your podcast, vlog. Listen, if you guys are like me, I know that you sit around and you watch other people, they do podcasts and they got sponsors, they got blogs, they got vlogs, and you're like, how do these people get sponsors? My show's better than theirs, believe me, I've been there. I'm going to tell you how you guys get sponsors. You can do so at Share a Sale. Click the link in the description of this podcast. Make sure you use that link, and you guys will be able to sign up as an affiliate on Share a Sale for absolutely free. The worst thing that could happen is they deny you. You just fill out the application. It doesn't cost you anything to fill out the application. Once approved, you then have access to several different merchants. We're talking about thousands of different merchants of different types of products and services. So if you know your audience, you know the type of products and services that you think that they'd like to hear about, then sign up for Share a Sale. Start looking through there. You know, they got CBD companies, the healthy snacks, things that get shipped to your door, pet products, pet health insurance. Half of my sponsors that I have are from Share a Sale. So it's a great way for you guys to not spend any money out of your pocket and start making some money on your podcast. And at the same time, you're helping out the Homeschooled podcast. So make sure you're using our link in the description when you do so. Or you can go to homeschoolpod.com, click on sponsors.
Please take your seats. School is now in session.
Welcome to Homeschooled Podcast.
Homeschool.
The Homeschool Podcast. Why? Because he was homeschooled.
It's time to document the journey.
Welcome back to Homeschooled Podcast. I'm Agostino Zoida. I'm your host. I want to welcome to our show my guest today, Khalil Sadi. What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing great, buddy. How about you, man?
Man, I'm okay. I'm okay. I was telling you before we started, I threw my back out. So,
Sucks.
to tell you the truth, dude. And by the way, the way that this is gonna come out is gonna be that this is totally your fault, Hal. But no, it's not. For a long time, I've been thinking about getting into maybe Ju Jitsu. I've taken the beginning basics of Krav Maga back in the day, and I really enjoyed myself. You know what I mean? And then the other day, you brought up that you're gonna take that you take Ju Jitsu. You're like 2 years in. You really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And you're like the third person I've met who's told me it's addicting. They love it, and I'm like, I'm gonna do Ju Jitsu, and I have enough friends that do it that I can do it with somebody. And then I have another comic friend who has just an outdoor workout thing, you know. And I thought I'd support her, and I get myself outdoors, and I do a couple workouts just to see if I'll commit to something because it's only 6 weeks, right? Mm-hmm. And so today was day one, and it's in my neighborhood. It's 7:30 in the morning. I'm like, yeah, if I get up early and I go, and you know, it's an hour in my neighborhood, this is I'm moving things in the right direction. So, this morning I'm on time. Everything's going great, and then I'm doing jump ropes. Which, by the way, I don't do jump ropes. Have you ever? When was the last time you used a jump rope?
About a year ago.
A year ago, okay.
Yeah.
I was doing jump ropes, and it just keeps getting stuck under my feet.
Yeah.
And everybody in the class is like, when was the last time you did jump roping? And I'm like, never. And they're like, well, when you were a kid, you must have done it. And I was like, no, I was homeschooled. I never did jump roping.
You've never done any jump rope at all?
I've never done jump ropes.
Oh, man.
I mean, I've never, other than like Krav Maga, and my dad was into Hapkido to a pretty high level. And and he would take me to a class where there was kids, you know, so they had the parents and the kids on one side. So I've been to things like that, but mostly I never did things in a group like workout class. So I was a little nervous, and I was like, yeah, no, I never did. I'm homeschooled. Like I didn't do hopscotch and that type of shit. So I started feeling a little self-conscious about people commenting and me not, and it keeps getting stuck under my foot. Every other workout I'm doing fine, you know. And then so I started jumping really high to make sure that the rope doesn't get stuck. No. So I'm jumping high, and I don't know what happened, dude. I land on my feet and like with my arms like this, and all the weight and my arms coming down, like right in the center of my back, like between the shoulder blades, right in the spine. I heard
Ooh.
the loudest crack, and I don't know, like for a second I couldn't breathe, and I have like pains in my chest too,
Oh no, dude.
like up here in these muscles. So I must have like pulled a muscle in my back or something. I don't know what I did.
Oh man, have you gotten like a massage or anything like that?
I mean, this happened today, but no,
Also, it just like
yeah.
that's just happened.
I've had a couple massages, which was a part of physical therapy, and that was 2-3 years ago.
Hmm.
You know, I've never before that I never got massages, but yeah, this happened today.
Oh man. By the way, did you record yourself like doing the jump rope
No,
for the first time?
you want to see it?
I need to see this now.
You want to see it and make fun of me a little bit?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, dude. I'm like, part of me is like, I really hope I didn't like fracture my back or something.
I don't think you fractured it. You probably pulled a muscle.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, I'm not a doctor, of course, but if with my professional opinion, I'd say you pulled a muscle because do you do any jumping at all whatsoever?
I do work out like 3 to 4 times a week, and in that I will do like jumping jacks type shit and,
Okay.
and burpees. So
Yeah,
it's
but
not
I
that I
guess
never jump.
But you're not like fully like jumping as if you're trying to reach a basketball rim every time.
No, and not like fast over and over
Yeah.
again to catch a rope, and
Yeah.
so I don't know. Plus I'm heavy. When I came down, the sound it made was like a pop, and also when you crack your back.
Yeah.
It
Something
was
like that.
well, it sounded like a loud of those and like 100 of them, but in the same spot.
Oh no.
You know,
So it was like a multiple. Ooh, dude, that sounds horrible.
yeah, and like my first that split second was like, did I just paralyze myself? Yeah, I probably didn't crack anything or
Yeah.
fracture anything because I'm walking.
Yeah.
I can turn my neck and stuff.
That's so to your point over there. I know a dude that he literally broke his back and he was walking around and he was just in pain, but it turns out he broke his back. Like he just wasn't like he didn't have a clue. Like he was like riding a snowmobile
Yeah.
and then I guess at some points like he didn't see something and then just tipped over and then kind of like fell on the I guess the snow was really hard and I don't know if the snowmobile fell on him or not, but like he had a really he crashed really badly and after that he was like having a hard time, like his back was hurting and stuff like that, but he in a million years never would have thought that his back was broken. And after I think it was like a month I don't know if it was that long, but about a month of him just being that way, like someone told him, hey dude, go check that out, and the guy's like, well, your back's broken. So I don't think that's what happened to you, but it could happen that you have no idea.
You're
You have no
terrifying
idea your
me.
back's broken.
I had an ice pack on it all day, and I planned to do a hot one tonight. And it does feel a little better. I don't know if it's the numbness from the ice pack, but
Yeah.
if I do a deep breath, it does slightly hurt. If I bend over a certain way, pick up something heavy, it does slightly hurt.
Yeah.
I really hope that I didn't break my back.
Oh man, that sounds horrible, dude. But yeah, keep doing the heat and cold compression.
Yeah.
That should help a lot.
What
'Cause
sucks is I really enjoyed the class. And by the way, that was
Yeah.
I did a couple of things, and then
Mm-hmm.
the jump rope was my third thing, and then I was like, oh, our first rep,
Yeah.
I got injured, and I just kept going and pushed through it.
Oh, so you even made it worse because you kept going.
Maybe I did the whole
Oh.
class because I was just kept thinking to myself, I probably just cracked my back, and it just,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that muscle hasn't moved before. So I just kept going, and I
Yeah.
really enjoyed the class, and I don't get to go that much because I travel on the road, so I can't commit to the full 6 weeks. But
Yeah.
they let me do whenever I can and pay prorated.
Yeah.
So I was able to go today. I could have gone Friday, and then I could go Monday morning before I head to Vegas. So I would have been able to get in 3, and then I'm gone for a week. So
Yeah.
I'm bummed out if I'm not able to go back to the class on Friday.
Yeah.
So-
That sucks, dude.
Yeah.
You should definitely get it checked out just in case. But
Yeah.
to me, it sounds. Did you stretch before you like started the workout?
Yeah, they do.
Like a
As
warm
much
up?
as a class gets you to do a little warm up, a little,
Okay.
thing. And
Because like sometimes it's like the pulled muscle just like it seems like it's something else, but it's just a pulled muscle, but it makes everything contract like
yeah,
around the muscle, like every bone or every joint or whatever.
it totally could be that because it's soreness in my chest too.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro.
Like like what you're telling me sounds like a popped rib or something like that too.
Yeah.
But it could be a lot of things.
Is it a
But
pop spine?
yeah, it could be the same thing, dude. I don't know, but it sounds like you're having a rough time, so I don't want to be you right now.
Yeah, today sucked. Yeah, I'll do the hot pet later, and hopefully I'll feel better tomorrow. But
Yeah. Get your girl to give you a massage or something on the back, like the muscles around the back. Maybe that'll
yeah,
help you.
someone told me to get Tiger Balm.
I've heard that's pretty good. Yeah.
I've heard it's good, so I asked her to go out and pick some up, and then maybe I can get
It's
her to
kind,
rub
it's
it
kind
on.
of like an icy hot sort of thing too.
Oh,
So
okay, gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah, if I could get some sleep tonight, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
But anyway, dude, so it was good to see you this last weekend not in Salt Lake City. Well, I saw you in Salt Lake City and St. George,
Yeah.
Utah, which is where
Yeah.
you're currently living. And by the way, I
Yeah.
want to give a big thank you to everybody that came out to the shows in Salt Lake City and in St. George. It was awesome, man. I mean, both shows I think were great. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for having
Yeah.
me in
Oh,
St.
dude, thank
George.
you for having me, man.
That was great. I mean, I just had a good time with you and your wife over the weekend. I'm glad that you guys came out to Salt Lake City. I had a ball. Proper
Yeah,
Brewing
dude.
Company was awesome.
Yeah, dude, I had a blast too, man. That was a lot of fun. That's a pretty cool space too, man. Like I didn't know like I thought the show was gonna be like at the inside the brewing company.
Hmm.
I'm like, oh, this is an interesting spot, but I didn't see like any room. Like I don't see this set up for the place. And
Yeah.
that, but then when we got out to like the little, I guess like it was kind of like a parking lot kind of thing,
Yes.
but with like an actual seating section. It was really nice, dude. I like that because it was like indoors but outdoors at the same time.
Yeah, they got that cool little event space upstairs. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like half of it is a patio and the other half is indoors. I mean, I could see people renting that out for all kinds of parties, and
Yeah.
I told them they should do like movie trivia and stuff like that. So I thought, we were gonna do it downstairs, and they were gonna
Mhm.
close the brewery to the public,
Mhm.
but we ended up going like, yeah, it's Friday night. We don't want to close our bar, so it's like
Yeah.
let's use the event room, and it ended up working out
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
The food there is great, good beers, and I really enjoyed working with those people. I think I'm gonna go back again in like
Okay.
6 to 9 months and do it again. They wanted to have
Yeah.
me back, and you know what I'm gonna do this time, bro? And I've actually been wanting to do this. Is I want to, because I don't know if you follow on Instagram. I do a show called the Movie Stash.
Yeah, I've seen it. I haven't. I've seen that you do it. I haven't actually seen it.
Okay, so right now I'm releasing 5-minute episodes. It's always under 5 minutes to Instagram, and
Okay.
it's just a funny movie review. We discuss movies,
Okay.
and then it's followed by trivia. Whoever wins trivia, they choose the movie that we're gonna discuss next.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun, and I'm going to actually be doing a real podcast where people will be able to listen to the whole thing
Okay.
uncut. But
Yeah.
anyway, long story short, I want to when I go on the road and do gigs like that where it's at like a brewery or something, I want to do a trivia also.
Okay.
Like, so we'll do the comedy show, and then the late show is just trivia.
Okay.
And like maybe me and my co-host can host it, and then the audience participates and they'll win prizes and
Yeah.
stuff. So you can
Yeah.
buy a ticket to the comedy show, or you can buy a ticket to trivia, or we'll give
Or
you a
both.
discount. You get both type of thing. So I think I might bring that back there. There's also a couple places in Boston I might take it to this summer.
That sounds like fun, man. Yeah. Like that sounds like a great plan to have like for one night. Like, cause like what times are like you thinking of doing that? Like it's like a 7 p.m. show and then like a 9 p.m. trivia sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, something like that. Or we could even split it up on different days. It depends.
Okay.
In the summer, well, if it's a weekend, you can always start early. I like
Yeah.
starting at like 7. If it's a
Yeah.
weekday, I start at 8 because people got to come
Yeah.
from work. That's usually what I'd like to do.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it was a good time in Utah. I'm glad I got to see you. I haven't seen you
Like
And
4 years?
yeah,
It's been a while.
it must have been. So just to give our listeners here a little bit of a backstory. So back in the day when I used to work at the Haha Comedy Club, I would often run the bar when we opened at 5 o'clock, so all the
Yeah.
comedians can come sign up for open mic. And you and your wife would come like all the time, and that's how long I've known you. And then
Yeah.
you guys moved like what, 2 years ago?
2.5 years ago. Yeah, dude. It's been a little minute.
It's probably been like 4 years since I've seen you. What happened between? I know you moved, but then is it just like I know I didn't work there anymore.
Yeah, so I stopped going to the haha as much because like going to those mics was, you know how like sometimes there's 30 people and then you just get to go on last. I'm like, oh man, I
Yes.
gotta find a better way to like, get a better mic. So like I started to like, go around town, do a bunch of different mics, and then I would do the haha every once in a while, but I would do the haha every day because I'm like, okay, I get up every day, and then I can do like that one every day, and then sometimes you can go around town or whatever, and then there's other mics.
Right.
But like it got really tiresome to like just sometimes I would have to like wait 3 days in a row like to get the last set. I'm like, this is not working for me, dude.
Yeah.
So
Because you did it like 2 years.
yeah, just 2 years of just like uh doing that mic, and then I would occasionally go to other mics, but the reason I went to the haha a lot is just because as an open mic, like it guarantee you to get on stage. If you would go to the other comedy clubs, it's like, well, it's like a 1 in 10 chance of actually getting up there. And if you actually do get up there, it's like you're doing 2 to 3 minutes, which is like not a lot of time to work out
Right.
either. So
Yeah, usually open mics were like 3 minutes, and it's a lot, or you may not even get to go up that week. The first time I ever stepped foot on stage, I was 20 years old, and it was at the Melrose Improv.
that's my first open mic too, dude.
Was it really?
Yeah.
On Tuesdays, right? On
man.
on Tuesdays, and you go down there, and everybody signs up, and only like maybe 15 to 20 got picked.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time I got picked, and then
Yeah.
the second time I didn't even know it was a lottery system, because the first time I
Yeah.
got picked I thought everybody goes
Yeah.
up, and
Yeah.
so the second time I didn't get picked I was like, oh well, this blows.
Yeah.
And then I found the haha, which was cool, like you're saying, because it's a comedy club, so it's not like one of those bar open mics.
Yeah.
It's a comedy club that you're guaranteed to get up. A lot of people shit on the pay to play thing, which I understand, but when you're paying your dues as an open micer, it's like it's like a boxer going to the gym. He pays his membership.
Yeah.
So I never really minded it, and like you said, and they gave you the opportunity to do $5 for 5 minutes or $10.
10 minutes, dude.
Yeah. So
That was a big thing.
but the worst was like you're saying, it got too much after a couple of years, and you did it maybe 3 days a week, 4 days a week,
Yeah.
sitting there for 2-3 hours, and maybe you go last. And then some of the guys bought 10 minutes.
Yeah, and a lot of the guys that bought 10 minutes did not have any like good
I
10 minutes. So
know.
like you're sitting through like
Brutal.
horse shit.
Brutal. Just
brutal,
torture.
dude.
It was guys
Yeah.
that just like were using it as therapy, that weren't necessarily comics.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
just
man, that
saying stuff, just talking for 10 minutes. It was brutal. At one point, I remember saying to Jack, who owned the club,
yeah.
I remember saying to him, like, we got to reduce who can do 10 minutes.
10 minutes, yeah.
And we started to only, like, limit, 5 people to do it. Or we used to tell them, like, you can't put the 10 minutes in a row.
Yeah.
You had to put a bunch of 5s and then a 10 and then a bunch of 5s and a 10.
Yeah.
Dude, that's where I actually met, like, one of my closest friends, the guy who does the movie podcast with me, Kevin. That's actually where I met
Okay.
him. Is my first day I went to Haha. I stood outside the door waiting for them to open at 5, and I was out there with Kevin, another guy that he moved here with from Boston who doesn't do comedy anymore. I met Eric Allegria that day, who was basically had my job when I first got there.
yeah.
And then, Rico was already working there, who passed away, and
Yeah.
so that was it. And then eventually I got more and more connected in that club, eventually started working there, eventually became the manager of it. And gosh, crazy times. But now what a lot of places do, Did you ever do Fourth Wall when you were out here?
Yeah, that was one of the places that I started going to a lot because like it's like a set time
Yeah.
and you're only there for an hour. So you're only performing to like 10 comics, which is pretty much what you're doing at most of the other open mics.
Yes.
But like it's like you're in, you're out, and you go and you can try again like right away if you want, or you can go to a different open mic. So I really like that aspect, but it can also I understand why people didn't like that.
Yeah.
Because it was like you're just performing for like the same people over and over again. But
it serves a good purpose for what it is. It's like, I like what they were doing. They were only letting so many people sign up so that to guarantee that it's only going to be 45 minutes. So you're not sitting there all night.
Yeah.
And then you can sign up and then there's one every hour, and then they don't let anybody leave. Just sit here for 45 minutes. Like, everybody support each other because, at an open mic, somebody goes up and then they leave. By the time it's your turn, you're in front of two people.
Yeah, dude. I that's the other part of it, right? Like, you're waiting for 2 hours, and then at the end of it, you're literally performing for, like, the host and someone who just graciously wanted to like stay there for whatever reason. They're masochists or something.
Just to be respectful of the room, and you watched everybody, but then there's people that won't watch. And it's one thing if you have to leave, you have another spot somewhere, but they would leave and go hang by the bar.
Yeah, a lot of people just and they weren't like the loudest people too. Like the door could be closed, but you could still hear them like just laughing on the other room. It was like, I mean, I get it, like you don't want to watch everybody. Like, and after 2 years, I'm like, fuck this, dude. I'm not gonna watch everybody anymore.
That's what I say, like paying your dues. So like if you're, a super super new comic, you gotta stay there the whole time and support everybody.
Yeah, dude.
Don't be
everybody. Learn,
watch and learn what to do and what not to do.
Exactly.
And I mean, for Christ's sakes, your wife did it more than comics did it.
Yeah, man.
I made a comment about that. And by the way, I made a comment to you this weekend about how, like, your wife would sit there with you the whole time and listen to these guys. But I used to have a joke whenever I would go up at the open mics and a guy would bring their girl, as I would say, like, that really is the test if you should marry a chick. bring her a couple open mics and let her sit there for 3 hours through that nonsense.
Yeah.
And see if she comes back again the second time, you're like, we got to keep her.
Yeah, she's a keeper, definitely, dude.
So, if you're a new comic, you got to, I'm sorry, I want to say a minimum a year. Yeah. You got to sit through the whole mic, guys.
I think it's at least a rite of passage, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, after a year, you could be like, okay, I'm done with this. But if you haven't like seen because like you see everything in those rooms, man. And I remember a lot of the stuff I learned was like what not to do. Because like the things that I would learn to like, okay, do this, do that. Like those came after a while of just repetition. Mm-hmm. But like just watching and seeing like, because 90% of the people that are they're not good at it, right? So it's really
it's rough.
Like it's really rough and it's eye-opening at the same time. So
I think like at the longer you do stand up, the less amount of comics after you have to stay to watch.
Yeah.
Like I think before the pandemic, I was doing this open mic around the street from around the corner from my house at the Robin Hood Irish or Scottish pub or whatever.
I think I've heard of it. I didn't know they had an open mic there, but I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's on Burbank and like Woodman.
Yeah.
And so they in the back room there they would do an open mic. I forget what day. God, it was fun. I used to like pop it in there every now and then to work on new shit.
Yeah.
So at the time, I'm probably 10, 11 years into comedy. Mm-hmm. And even I'm still staying for two comics after I go up.
Yeah.
So I don't know when I'm going to go on. I go and I watch however many before me, and then I go up, and then I go back to my seat for two more, and then I leave. It's just a respect thing.
Yeah, man. Just so you're not saying like, hey, F off. I already did my time. It's time to go. So at least you're like being respectful to the next few comics.
That's what you got to do. So I do like what Fourth Wall or those pay to play. They have, it's called Slotted out here. The website Slotted. You go.
Yeah.
And I mean, especially if you want to work on a 15, 20-minute set, you got something coming up. Nobody in LA gives you 20-minute sets. You can go to the Fourth Wall, and you can do 4 in a row of 5, 5, 5, 5.
Yeah. And dude, that just by doing that alone, like even if I remember I tried doing that with the same bits, by the end of the first by the end of the day, you you have not if you don't have like a full bit already, like you definitely have like something that it either has legs or it doesn't, like by the end of those 4 mics, dude.
Yeah, dude. Because I did that a couple times as like I wanted to work a 20-minute set, so I did like 4 of those, and so I did a 5-minute each, different 5-minute each one.
Yeah.
But the one that didn't work in the previous one, I would sneak it into this one too. But yeah, like you said, by the 4, it's like, all right, if that one didn't, it's time to let it go.
It's time to throw it away, man.
And I don't mind that there's only 10 because it won't last long.
Yeah.
And the room only holds like 15.
Yeah, it's a small room, dude.
As opposed to the haha or those big comedy clubs.
It's like the full comedy club.
There's 2 people left in the room in a place that holds 200.
And and it feels like the tension in those rooms, like it's like it shrinks. I don't know, dude. It's a weird feeling.
The energy leaves.
It's like 2 people in the room. Like you have to. I remember, especially like in the beginning when I was starting. Like by the end of those sets, by the time it was my time to go up, I was just like drained from my energy, just like going through that whole experience of just listening to that bullshit. And then by the time it was my like you get there and you have energy. By the time it's my time to go up, I'm like, I have no energy. So the first thing that I did was when I got on stage, I was like, whoa, just to like pump myself up or something.
Yeah, it's draining.
Yeah,
it was draining. I don't know if you ever said anything to me. I wish you would have, because I don't like to. I mean, I never like to cheat people. If you came up to me and said like, hey, can I go early? I'd be like, it's not fair to everybody. But if I see that consistently every time you end up going last, I'd be like, all right, let me throw this guy up. He went last the last 3 times,
Yeah.
So yeah, I wish you told me stuff like that. And then
you did tell me that one time. I'm like, okay. I think I felt weird about asking.
Because you do feel bad, right?
Yeah.
Because I wasn't always in there to pay attention, but if I did notice that you were always the last one, it does suck.
Yeah.
But also there is tricks. I'm gonna reveal to you guys a pretty good trick at open mics. It's a different world we live in now. It's like when I was homeschooled. Today it's on a computer. When I was homeschooled, they mailed me a box of books for the season, right? So this is that version of open mics. If you're doing an open mic that still does the lottery system, that's not you go online and put your name. So if you're still doing a place that gives you the piece of paper that you fill out or the little ticket, you fold it a certain way. That's what you do. Yeah. You don't just fold it in half. You do a little twisty bend.
Yeah, so it's like stands out.
When you're reaching your hand in there and you're grabbing, it's one of the first ones that's going to come up. It's not guaranteed, but it's a good odds. It's good odds.
It makes the odds a lot better, dude, because I never did that. And someone told me about that, like maybe like 4 years ago. I'm like, man, all this time I've been doing this bullshit, and I could have just done that, and then I never did it.
I'm sorry, dude. So, I just got a notice on my Zoom here that I'm running out of time, which I thought if it was only 2 people. This is literally the first time I've ever gotten that. Did they change it?
It's been doing this for like about a month, man.
Okay.
Because before it was, if it's just 2 people, you could just do whatever time you want.
I had the pro version during the pandemic because I was having multiple people on at once. Yeah. But then when the pandemic ended, I stopped using the pro version. I went back down to the free. So anyway, we got like 9 minutes left. So I want to talk to you about. I'm actually glad I didn't plan on it, but I'm actually glad we kind of talked about open mics because that was, I know a lot of guys that listen to this are up and coming comics. Yeah, it's definitely probably hits home. Yeah, man. But you got to go through it, and I hope that if anybody takes anything away, is be respectful. Stay and watch everybody, pay your dues, and then when you pay your dues, still stay and watch a couple. And there's no shame in paying. I mean, look at me. Second open mic I ever did was at the Haha. I met one of my best friends, who's my best friend today, who happened to go on to be a filmmaker and do great things. and I just had him direct my special. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
that's awesome, dude. That's really great.
Something always comes good of if as long as you're out of the house and you're trying to get on stage. I know it sucks to pay for it, and I know it sucks to sit there, but guys, like, you never know the people you meet.
Yeah, dude, half of this thing is relationships, man. Like,
Absolutely.
you meet great people this way too.
You'll see people come and go a lot, but then there's ones that'll always be. I just did the St. George Theater with you because
Yeah.
I've known you all these years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It may take years, but guys, the more you're in, that's why people go, "Oh, you only like do those podcasts or tour because you know Joey Diaz." Like, people say that shit to me,
Yeah.
and it's like,
Really?
yeah, man. People apply that stuff. Oh, it's Joey Diaz's boy. That's why that's why you get on the road and stuff like that. Oh, because Sam Tripoli took you or Jimmy Schubert took you on the road. Yeah, that's true.
That helps. But
That's
I mean,
yeah,
but you got to be really good for people to actually
exactly.
take you.
But that just means that's something to be proud of. That means you've been in this a long time, nonstop, and those people recognize hard work. And not only that,
Yeah.
they could take Joe Schmo with them on the road, and it might be their last time taking them on the road.
Yeah.
That is, you're given the opportunity doesn't mean that you're gonna, be asked back to headline.
Yeah. That's the other part, right? Like, they kept taking you because they knew they could count on you, right? Because I don't know about anybody else, but like, if I'm taking a comedian with me, I want them to do well because it makes the job easier for me. Like, if the room's not dead, then I don't have to do a lot of work to like get the room going back up again when it's my time to go up.
Exactly. They want somebody that is going to get the job done, that the clubs are not going to give them shit later. Like, why'd you
Yeah.
bring this dude?
Yeah.
They know you can get the job. People always ask me, how do you get comics to take you on the road? And there's two things. Obviously, you got to get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
And another important thing is they have to get along with you off stage.
Yeah.
They got to hang out with you the whole week.
Yeah.
Like when we went to Zion Canyon, we had a nice
Yeah.
time. You know what I mean? I brought Daniel
it was a lot
Betts
of
with
fun,
me.
dude.
I've known Daniel for a while. He's a great dude. We were calling him Snyder Cut by the end of it because he gives you the long version of every story. And I give him a little, and like, you know what, dude? I could have easily used a local comic in Salt Lake City and not taken Daniel. And
Yeah.
then you didn't need a comic for your
Yeah.
show. It could have just
Yeah.
been me, you, and the other guy.
Yeah.
I didn't have to take Daniel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I could have saved on the air travel, got myself a smaller Airbnb, but like, he's a good dude. He's a promising comic. He's a good comic, and I just know that, like, someone did this for me, and I learned so much. So taking him on the road, you learn a lot. And I was just like, yeah, dude, you're a fucking great guy. Honestly, I've met his wife. They're great
Yeah.
people, and I do like to tease him a little bit about talking so much. And
But he's a great dude, man. Like,
Yeah.
I've only known him for I met them this past weekend, but I had a great time with him as well.
great
man.
dude. But that's the key. You have to be able to get along with and have a good time with whoever you're. If you're with the guy who doesn't party, they don't want a drinker. They don't want somebody who's gonna go, want to go to the nightclub after the show? No, I want
Yeah.
to go back to my hotel room. And on the other hand, it works the other way. If you got a guy who does like to go to the bars and hit on chicks or whatever after the show,
Yeah.
he's like, you got to be the wingman. So those are the two things. Really quickly, we got like 4 minutes left. All right. You mentioned to me you're about to move to Austin. I think it's exciting. It's probably also a little scary, but
Yeah.
you're a comic who moved to St. George, Utah. Well, sort of outskirts of St. George, and
Yeah.
there was basically no comedy scene.
Yeah.
You had to start the comedy scene, which I think is
Yeah.
great that you did that, because
It's a lot of work.
I'm sure it is, but that's what you got to do. These comics that hit me up on they listen to the podcast and they go, oh, you guys talk about doing open mics, but I live in a place where there are none around me. Well, then start one.
Start it. Yeah.
So you're a great example. And now you're going to a place where it has a lot of comedy already in Austin, Texas. So are you
Yeah,
excited,
man.
dude? Are you nervous?
Oh, dude, I'm super excited, man. I can't wait to not have to be the one just like constantly like trying to get the thing moving, man. Like, it's already established there, so I'm very excited about that. And yeah, of course I'm nervous, man. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect, like, but at the same time, I know that like I have a great work ethic, and I know like if I set my mind to something, I'll be fine. So
Yeah.
but I'm very excited, dude, especially because like leaving LA, I'm like, it's gonna be easy starting this open mic. I mean, there's so many open mics over there. I mean, there's 100 and some thousand people over here. They're gonna want to like do comedy. Like the odds are with me. They were not. They were not with me, dude. So like, there's like maybe 10 people that do comedy in St. George, and 3 or 4 of them like regularly do it. So it's like, ooh. But I don't have to worry about that in Austin. And at the same time, man, it's like being able to do multiple spots a night. I'm so excited about that.
Yeah.
Like, one of the great things about being here in the St. George region is that I really had to focus on my writing, because like before I just got on, like I would write something, I got on stage and I kind of like worked on it on the stage.
Mm-hmm.
And here, like, there's no chance to do that. So like I actually had to sit down and like, okay, like, tinker with it and stuff like that. And then now having those 2 skills, like, and take them to like a place where I can work on stage and I can work on like at home. So that's going to be great for me, man.
I'm excited for you. I'm happy for you, dude. I think it's gonna be a nice, like, you put the dues in for 2.5 years in St. George, Utah. It was a lot of work, and I think, you like you said, you've always had a great work ethic, and now it's time for you to move on to where let someone else focus on organization and let you focus on being a comic. And I think that that's going to be great. Of course, you're going to be a little nervous. It's a new city, but I mean, going outside your comfort zone is always
That's always
it's
fun,
always
man.
good for you. During the pandemic, you dove into Ju Jitsu, and now you love it. It's like, I'm happy, dude. I'm gonna hook you up with some people I know in Austin and tell you some
Thanks,
good rooms
dude. I appreciate
to hit.
that. And
of course.
Whenever you're in town, dude, like, just hit me up. You have a place to stay, man.
Really quickly before it cuts you off, you got a minute and a half. So I know at the end of June you got one more St. George show.
Yeah.
It's June what?
June 25th, Saturday, June 25th, 9 p.m. It's at Bluescast Rock and Roll Grill. It's like a $10 cover fee, and then you just get like it's a show for like about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, depends on who we have, but it's a fun time.
Check it out, you guys. There's not a lot of options in St. George. All right, go watch some comedy. If you're a comic, go support and maybe even learn a little bit. And then you do have a podcast as well.
I do. It's called Forgive and Forget. It's just me talking by myself. Sometimes I have guests. I'm gonna, like you said, you'll be on it, so
I'd love to do it
as well. So
Forgive and Forget. Look it up. Before this cuts you off, I just want to let you know, thank you for being on my show and for coming on the Homeschool podcast. Thank you for having me. You and your wife showed me a great time. If there's any comic, I recommend, that you guys took care of me, brought me to my gig on time. Thank you
so much, my man.
Thank you to you and your wife. And guys, I'll put in the bottom where you can follow them. So thank you, bro. I appreciate you.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for having me on, and thank you for coming. I had a blast with you, dude.
Thank you so much. I'll see you somewhere in Austin or LA or somewhere, brother.
Yeah, man.
Keep in touch.
See you later, bro.
Peace. You can go ahead and log off before it's probably gonna log you off anyway. I'll do the outro with these guys.
It says less than a minute, but it's still going.
I know.
All right. Thank you, bro.
Peace out, man.
I'll reach out to you about.
There it went. He'll reach out to me about something. And those of you watching the video on YouTube, you probably lost video right now, but the audio is still here for you. Man, fucking Zoom. That's the first time I've had that happen. I used to let you go, if you only had 2 people. But anyway, guys, I want to give a big thank you to all of you who continue to support the Homeschool podcast. Big thank you to you guys if you're already watching the Movie Stash, those under 5-minute movie reviews that are a funny movie talk show and trivia on my Instagram. Please follow me on Instagram at Agostino Zoida to watch those, plus all my other content and to find out my upcoming shows and everything. And I'm going to start releasing the Movie Stash as an actual podcast, I think, and on a completely different, brand new podcast. And you guys will be able to watch the whole discussion. So I'm excited about that as well. And that's it, you guys. I want to give a big thank you to Khalil, Sadi, for coming on my show today and for also having me in St. George and for opening up for me in the Salt Lake City show that I did. I wish him the best of luck in Austin. Keep in touch with him, guys. He's a good dude. Go support him. Go see him in Austin. If you're a comic listening to this in Austin, Texas, help him out. welcome him, say, hey, welcome, you know what I mean? Let's be human beings. Let's have a nice community in the comedy universe. Let them know that we don't fuck around at Homeschool Podcast. We look out for one another. So if you guys could, make sure you give him a follow on Instagram. Use the link in the description or his handle there. And especially if you're a comic or even if you're not, any type of performing artist, even just a fan of listening to podcasts and comedy, reach out to these guests that I have on. Let them know that, Homeschool Podcast represents, and we're here to have a good time. We're here to support each other and provide a community. So thank you guys so much. Please continue to come back here. Hit subscribe on YouTube. Hit subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast. And keep coming back here to Homeschool Podcast, where we document the journey. I'm Agostino Zoida. Don't forget that only love can save the world. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.